It's now time for another edition of Reaction or Overreaction, where I make a statement and the guys say whether or not it is a fair reaction. Here we go. Reaction or overreaction. Chris Mack. Is Tyler Kolek the best point guard in college basketball?
No, I think that's a good reaction. I don't think that's an overreaction. I think that's actuality. He's we've already talked about all the things he brings to Marquette. Tyler mentioned it, man. He's such a competitive kid. Uh, the fact that he led those guys last year to a Big East championship in MSG. I don't see him settling for anything less than that. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to control the game. I think the better you do on him, the better your chances are against Marquette. But he can score, he can assist, plays hard, he's on the floor. He's exactly what you want as your point guard if you're a college basketball.
Hansbrough, reaction or overreaction?
I don't think it's an overreaction. I like it. I looked around, tried to find somebody who I would say would be better. I can't find that right now. Coach just ran through what he does for the team. I think he makes his teammates better, and he makes his team a winning team, and that's super important. But right now, I can't find anybody to really put in the same class as him. I'm looking around, but I'm going to have to see some more games from some other teams to really find a competitor out there. But right now, Tyler Kolek's the best point guard in college right now.
I mean, I like DeJuan Harris. I just don't think he's at Kolek's level. I also think he has better players around him. But, other than that, I don't know. Doug McDaniel.
Best point guard. Yeah, McDaniel's emerging.
Yep.
There's no question about that. But it just feels like Kolek's got a leg up on everybody. He's already the reigning Big East Player of the Year. He was already an All-American. And I'm impressed with the fact, on a bum ankle, that he did what he did last night going into Champaign. Not an easy place to go and win, and he did just that. Reaction or overreaction? Tyler Hansbrough. Purdue is the national championship favorite right now.
No, I would say Kansas is. I like the way Kansas is playing. I think as far as the depth goes, I think Kansas has more firepower. When I look at McCullough, I look at Hunter Dickinson, and then I look at Harris. I think those three guys put them over top of Purdue, even though I think Purdue's players, especially Lawyer, has really improved this year. I think their outside shooting is going to improve and open things up for Zach Edey. But I would say Purdue is definitely number two. I love what Paint does. He's one of my favorite coaches in college, actually. But I'm not saying that Purdue isn't a contender. I'm just saying right now Kansas is more of a favorite to win it all to me than Purdue.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I think that's an overreaction, and that's not a slight on Purdue. I think Purdue has an opportunity to do what Virginia did a few years ago, and that is be a team that goes from being bounced in the first round in a massive upset that nobody could believe to potentially winning it all. I know Coach Painter talked a lot about being able to sort of address some of the issues that plagued them at the end of the year against some different teams. Tyler mentioned throughout the year the Big Ten, man, it's just a meat grinder. Teams are beating each other up. And Purdue sort of got lost in the tournament with foot speed and quickness. And I don't know if they've addressed that. I don't think that it can prevent them from winning a national championship. But that was a little bit of an Achilles heel a year ago. Now, having said that, Braden Smith's a year older. Lawyer's a year older. Zach Edey creates shots just because he's so big. He's massive. He's skilled. I didn't think he played great against Xavier. I thought he got good position, but I thought he missed a lot of easy ones that I think as time goes on he's going to make. So I think they have a really good chance of being in the Final Four and winning a national championship, but I wouldn't call them the odds-on favorite at this point.
I agree. They're not the odds-on favorite. I mean, Kansas deserves to be until someone takes it from them, although I'm concerned about Kansas on the perimeter because Nick Timberlake has not panned out to what they thought. Johnny Furphy's still coming along. Like, that's the best game DeJuan Harris has ever played.
To me, they have to grow their depth. I don't think they have much of a bench. And,
No.
you saw with KJ Adams fouling out and guys getting in foul trouble, and that can happen to Hunter Dickinson. And, things can happen. They're going to have to grow their bench. I thought Kentucky was a little bit of a deeper team, to be quite honest. You got Dillingham coming off the bench. You got Reed Shepherd coming off the bench. Again, those guys as freshmen are only going to get better as well.
Reaction overreaction, Tyler Hansbrough. The SEC is the second best conference in college basketball.
I would agree with that. I think Kentucky has definitely shown they're capable of playing with anybody. I think Tennessee last year, defensively, they're as good as any team in the country. Alabama's strong. Arkansas, they have Brazil back. They're a very talented player. I think they're going to be competitive. But also, I do like what you talked about with Mississippi State. And Tulane Smith is one of the best players, one of the best big men in the country as well. When they get him back and healthy, I think they're also going to be a team that can compete with anybody. So I would say right now the SEC is the second best conference in basketball. I agree with that. I don't think that's an overreaction.
Yeah, I don't think it's an overreaction, but I think it's 6 of one, a half dozen of the other. I think the three best conferences to me are the Big East, the Big 12, and the SEC. And, the fact that Houston is now part of the Big 12, again, I think you have some contenders in all three of those conferences. I really do. I think it's going to be a yeoman's job to win on the road in any of those conferences. And so I don't think it's an overreaction by any means, but I can see any of those three conferences claiming stake to being one of the best conferences in the country, if not the best.
It's just so early. I mean, that's the other thing. And I'm all for us pegging things and whatnot. The Big 12 is going to be there. The SEC, I think, is the top three. I think the top three in college basketball is fairly clear with you guys. Big 12, SEC, Big East in some way, shape, or order. But it's early. There's a lot of basketball to be played. And one thing to bring up, and I know you both would agree here, wins this time of year, you don't even know the value of them in the long run.
Right.
That your opponents could go one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a few of these teams, you have a feel that they're just because of the strength, the schedule they're going to play, and the history of their program, you feel like they're going to be, really helpful to your schedule, your strength of schedule down the stretch. But you're right, man. Teams go on, they go on losing streaks. They get injured. They look different in February than they did in December. So there's a lot to be played, man, to sort of make predictions after 2 or 3 games. Tough, but that's what we get paid Applebee's gift cards to do. You know that, John.
Last one. Hansbrough, what do you get paid in? Wait, what do you get paid in, Hansbrough?
He doesn't need any money.
I love Applebee's. I would take Applebee's right now. I would say more. They're giving me probably Five Guys gift cards. So you guys get the Applebee's and more than Five Guys. So that's what
look at. He's already trying to do his name, image, likeness on Field of 68.
Bingo. I want to know Hansbrough, if you could sign an agreement with anybody NIL, who'd you be signing with right now?
Right now, NIL, it would have to be a pickleball company. Big into pickleball, so put that out there.
And Max doing eating good in the neighborhood.
Yeah, Applebee's, yep.
Yep, all Applebee's, half apps. Max half apps have a ring to it. Last one here. We will have another FAU-type team make the Final Four this year. Reaction or overreaction? Mac?
I think it's a reaction, and it's a good reaction. In fact, you might have FAU again. They've got pretty much everybody back. So I know you're sort of widening the choices outside of just FAU, but I think that's sort of been the norm here recently. In the last, 5-6 years, you've had 16 seeds beating 1 seed. You've had all these different, teams not just getting to a Sweet 16, but to a Final Four. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I think that you add in the volatility of rosters, the fact that, you know, guys are trying to mesh. I know by the end of the year, but still, you don't have those relationships over the course of 2 and 3 years like you used to with teams. And so I could absolutely see in a team like JMU or Florida Atlantic once again, or San Diego State, um, you know, get back to the Final Four.
Tyler,
Yeah,
quickly.
I think it's a underreaction. I think there's a lot of value in having older players and also a team that has played with each other for a long time. The chemistry is great. I think there's more value in having a 25-year-old than there is a 5-star freshman, and so I wouldn't be surprised at all. And I expect to see one of these small schools in there.